Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, another exclusivity pack comes to the Fiat Chrysler automobiles. In fact, it's a new color palette as this has become the deal of choice for Fiat Chrysler automobiles, releasing some official color options. And it is this color option, which is Plum Crazy. Now, old muscle car folks like I am will remember this from back in the late 60s, early 70s. It was a color inside of the color palette for Chrysler. It returns again in the 2016 model year, but the trick is it's exclusive to just that year, 2016. So you better get down to your dealership if you want to get in on the Plum Crazy fun. Next up on the list, well, we've talked ad nauseum. In fact, this will be the third time we talk about pricing about the brand new GT350. It's been leaked twice, and in fact, the last time back in May was pretty much spot on for exactly what's going on. But this is official Ford pricing for the brand new GT350. You can head on over to the Ford website right now and run up the configurator and actually spec out a car just exactly the way you want it. So let's talk about pricing, at least initial pricing. There's some conflicting reports, somewhere between just a touch over $41,000 and just a touch shy of $44,000 US starting out, just depending on which outlet you actually read. Now, as far as the option list, that stays pretty consistent because for $6,500, you can get the Track Pack. Track Pack gets you an aluminum front strut tower brace. It also gets different front springs on the machine, not to mention oil coolers for the oil in the engine, transmission fluid, and the differential in the rear. You can also get a rear spoiler for this thing for a little bit of an extra charge. There's obviously a color option list. There's different colors. They can cost a tad bit more depending on what color you want, striping, whatnot, and there's actually an option to get the entire roof blacked out, which is kind of a weird option to say the least. There is another option deal, which is a technology package. That technology package is basically an infotainment package. Gets you more speakers inside of the machine, the latest sync system, the lot as far as the stuff that was inside creature comforts inside of the machine. Now, if you move up to the hardcore version, which is the GT350R, this particular machine already comes with all the Track Pack options, including an updated front spoiler for the machine and those carbon fiber wheels on all four corners. In fact, there's been a rumor about over the past several days that to replace all four wheels on this machine will cost you $30,000 US, which is pretty dang pricey, so don't curb them. Now, that being said, this vehicle basically has one option, which is the technology package. Now, because you've gone with the upgraded version of this machine, it only costs you $3,000 as far as that particular deal is concerned. Not for 100% sure as of yet when these will be reaching dealer showrooms, but if they've released pricing, they're probably taking orders as we speak. Last up on the list, a story from the past. In fact, it was almost a year ago, about this time of year, that this man, Kevin Ward Jr., actually passed away at an upstate New York dirt car track. Mr. Ward was an inspiring dirt track racer. In fact, was racing wing sprint cars. It was racing on a particular night where one of big NASCAR star was going to be in attendance to the particular event. In fact, Mr. Ward and this particular NASCAR star actually got together on the track, which disabled Mr. Ward's car. Mr. Ward got out of his car, just like he's seen all his heroes do on television, to go confront that driver on the track. That particular driver was NASCAR champion Tony Stewart. In that particular situation, Mr. Stewart's car actually made impact with Mr. Ward. Mr. Ward was killed instantly in the incident. Now, this particular deal went through a huge criminal situation, which Mr. Stewart here was pretty much relieved of any actual fault inside of the accident. But now here we are a year later, and there's been a lawsuit filed by the Ward family against Tony Stewart over wrongful death. Now, this is a situation that is very rare, especially in the motorsports world. In fact, I can't remember anything except for maybe, you guys may remember something else, and if you do, put it down in the comments section. It'll be quite interesting. All I can remember is Ayrton Senna when he had his incident in Imola way back in 1994. In fact, that went to a lawsuit situation, wrongful death, manslaughter lawsuit, that actually got thrown out of court back in 1997, but then was refiled inside of an Italian court system, which then finally got manslaughter charges up against Patrick Head, who was the head of Williams F1 at the time. And actually, those deal was done in 2007, quite a bit later. In fact, way longer. The statute of limitations was up in the Italian court system for Patrick Head to actually do any real court, any real prison time. As far as this is concerned for Stewart, this is not actually a criminal case. This is a civil case. So basically, the Ward family is looking for some financial compensation for the incident. Again, this is a tricky situation. This was done on private property. Not to mention, it's not a road car accident. It was a racing incident, and you've got a person who's outside of a race car during the race, even though the cars were under caution. I have pretty strong feelings on just who exactly may have been at fault, but sadly, there's only one person that knows for absolute sure, and sadly, that person has since passed away. So, this is a situation that could get really sticky. I'm assuming this is actually going to get a deal that's going to be settled outside of the court system and will not actually go to a trial situation at all. But we'll keep you in tune of what we hear more of this. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time, so you can get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.